Well, hello there folks, and a very warm welcome as usual back to What's for Tea and our wee recipe for this week, and I do hope that I find you very well indeed. So Ecclefechan Tarts. Ecclefechan is in Dumfries and Galloway in Scotland obviously, and these are a delicious sweet treat. They're best eaten on their own as a wee tea time treat, but you know, you could have these with custard if you preferred. So as usual, I'm just going to show you everything that I'm using, but you will find all of the ingredients in the description box underneath the video, and I will put them on the screen as we go as well. So I've got some dark brown soft sugar, I'm using sweet short crust pastry, dried mixed fruit, some unsalted butter, I've got one egg, I've got the zest from a large orange and also the juice from a large orange, some walnuts, and I'm also going to be using whisky as well. If you don't want to use whisky, you know, just substitute the whisky for some more orange juice. So this recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of whisky, but just use an extra 2 tablespoons of orange juice if you prefer. Get your walnuts into a Ziploc bag. You want to bash these down slightly just so they're not so big and chunky, and then get your egg and you want to just whisk this up with a fork until it's nicely combined and creamy looking just like this. And then your butter, this is unsalted butter, so get this into the microwave until it's nicely melted just like this. And like I said, I am using the zest and the juice from a large orange. I would recommend using an actual orange rather than orange juice from the carton. And this is my mixed dried fruit here. Use whatever combination of dried fruit you prefer. It's really easy to find. So into a large bowl with your dried fruit, and then on top of that we're going to put the whisky and orange juice, or just orange juice if you're not using the whisky, your zest, and then the walnuts. Then to that I'm going to add the soft dark brown sugar. Then to that we're going to add the melted butter, and then the egg that you've just beaten, and you want to mix all of these together until they're nicely combined. And we're just going to set this to the side for about an hour, and your fruit will absorb a lot of those lovely flavours in liquid. So no need to cover it or anything or put it in the fridge, just set this to the side for an hour. This is the tart tins that I'm using here. These wee cavities are about 8 centimetres in diameter, and you want to use a cookie cutter just ever so slightly larger than the tops of your cavities. Something like this is ideal. I am using shop-bought sweet short crust pastry because I am a nightmare with pastry. I hate making pastry, but if you're good at making your own pastry, feel free to use your own. This recipe will give you enough for about 5 or 6 tarts depending on the size of your cutter, and they should be looking something like this. And just pop these straight into your cavities. This is a good non-stick tray, but if you don't have a non-stick tray, obviously grease your tins before you add the pastry. And I just like to use the end of my rolling pin to get it into there, you know, nice and snugly, or you can use your fingertips if you don't have ridiculously long nails like I do. And then you want to prick the bottoms with a fork just to stop them puffing up as they bake. Now pop these into the fridge for about half an hour just to firm up, and then after your hour you can come back and just spoon your filling into your cases. Don't be tempted to overfill these, or you know, the mixture will spill over the top and bubble, and you know, you'll find it quite hard to get these out of the tin. So just shy of the top, something like this is ideal, or a wee bit less if you prefer. Get them into the middle of your oven for between 20 and 25 minutes, and they should be looking something like this when they come out. And as you can see there, mine's has just started to bubble slightly over, so I think I've slightly overfilled these, but they're fine. Whilst they're still warm, give them a wee spin in their cavities just to loosen them up slightly, because we're going to let these cool in the tin, and you want to make sure they are loose before they start to cool, or they may stick to your tins. And then once they've cooled fully, these should be quite easy to get out of your tin, and they are lovely. Like I said, perfect just with a cup of tea, but in the colder days they are lovely with custard as well. Just lovely. Very similar to mince pies, but obviously they don't have the fatty suet in there. So yeah, if you like a mince pie, you'll probably like those. So thank you so much for watching, and as usual, a huge thank you to the supporters of the channel over on my Patreon page, and to the channel channel members here on YouTube as well, for you all for watching and leaving your lovely comments, and for those that share the video as well. And thank you to the new Patreon members and channel members. I've yet to update those lists, and I will be doing it at some point at this week. So if your name isn't there yet, it will be soon. So take care, and I'll see you off soon back here on What's for Tea. Bye now.